That's right. We are here, Grange's very own, not the experts, on the last day of May. Butler Most Media Production Studios, Grange, Georgia. Got everything in the intro. It's an accomplishment. I'm Titus. That is Levi. You know what this is. Thank you for tuning in. Levi, how you feeling, bro?
I'm alright. How about you?
I'm tired. I'm really tired. As you can see, there's no rundown today on the show because we just kind of, for one, nothing important in the sports world happened this week, and there are bigger things going on in the world right now. In case you didn't, well, I'm sure you all know by now because there's nothing to distract you from it. So, yeah, so we're just gonna kind of let some thoughts out and go from there. And it's probably gonna be a long show, but we're just gonna kind of vent and go. We didn't really run through how we're gonna do this, so we're just gonna do it, and hopefully this thing to say helps people heal or get some clarity or opens your eyes to something you were thinking but didn't know how to articulate. Anything. Hopefully you get something positive out of it. That's yeah. Levi, you got
Yeah, well,
your
I
thing.
just wanted to say, for us being not the experts or what our name is, it's kind of the whole premise behind our show is because we just like to give, we've always wanted to give an ulterior, I guess, perspective of, because it seems like a lot of times the things that scroll across our TV, whether it's sports news, news, it's kind of like the same people, same mindsets, and we never really hear anything new, or it's always very staunched in one position. And so when it, not just sports, like we like to talk about a lot of different things,
Right.
and we're just regular people, not experts at anything. And so we just like to give a regular person's side of view that may not be staunched in a bias or maybe have, a motive or an agenda behind it. So, that's what we're here to do right now. It's obvious, one white dude, one black dude, get a little diversity, two young dudes just talking.
Yeah. It's been a long, not even week. It's been like a long month or so. Cause, bro, like I just did this 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago.
Yeah, 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, with my I spoke about Ahmaud Arbery, like, and it kind of feels like that. That feels so long ago, but it really wasn't that long ago. And we're here again with this same kind of stuff. With the death of George Floyd, the murder of George Floyd. Let me say that correctly. And it's just, I'm just tired, bro. Like I'm fighting off hopelessness. I'm fighting off anger. I'm fighting off hate. I'm just trying to stay somewhat whole through all of this because every time it hits in a different wave, every single time, and it's just over and over and over again. And one loss brings back the memories of another one from the past and another one. And it's like, can we get anything accomplished? Can anything get changed? Are we just gonna be stuck in this cycle until we're dead? I just don't know where to go. I don't know how to channel all of this, and I've been trying like all week to just figure out how to say these things because me in general, Levi. Like I'm not a big social media person in general.
Yeah.
Like I'm on it, I don't post that much. If I'm posting, especially when something serious happens, especially about serious things, I'll rather talk to people on telephone, texting, whatever, rather than post a status out and then get into arguing with random people. If I'm on social media and I'm spazzing out about something, I've like probably something in my mind is broken at that point. And I've hit that point this week. And it's been a very long week. And it's been a very long just month. It's just been so much mentally. And with this platform that I have, I've never been I don't know how to say that. Well, I've always been aware, but it's never been my goal or intention to want to be a how do I say this?
A gas bag?
That's one way to put it, yeah. But like I never wanted to have to use this for legitimate social like conversations. It's never been like I'd rather stick to be in the sports world, touch on that when I need to. But it's not something that I ever wanted to just do because there's the weight of this is not just that I had to say something right to represent myself, not only myself, my family, and people in general. And I want to make sure I say things in a proper way. And I'm much better in it's probably hard to believe. I'm much better in writing things out than I am in just speaking from like an open position because that's just I don't know. I think better when I write because I can process for a little bit. But like this is never something that I intended to do. But it's like I can't not use this platform that we have.
Yeah,
I have to like speak up, and it's very heavy, and it hits the way it's been hitting differently because of that. And it's not something that like makes me not want to do it. Although like there were moments I almost didn't want to do a show. It's like I just don't want to do anything, but I have to do it because I need to be able to get it out for me, not only for me, but like just to have it out there. People know, but it's just like, bro, I'm tired. I am drained emotionally, mentally. Like it's affecting me. I almost broke down like 3 different times at work this week. Just like from the heaviness of all of this. Like it's just so tiring. And you want to talk now? I don't think I said anything.
No. Well, I was going to chime in.
Good.
For some reason, our show's kind of been like baseball, and we've had this unwritten rule of we're going to do anything but politics and I hate to using even the word politics to even refer to this because I like how we like to jumble it nowadays. And it's not even racism is not a political.
It's a human decency thing.
Yeah,
that's what
exactly.
it is. Yeah.
And so for me, like, I'm not going to sit here and tell or complain that I've been dragging a little bit emotionally too this week because whatever I've been feeling is probably really nowhere close to like what you could be feeling. But kind of just what I wanted to say on the show is that last week, me and you, we were having a light conversation.
Yeah.
And
it's a very fun week.
Yeah. And in the opening, we were talking about a show, or not a show, we were talking about a song. And I was trying to describe how somber this song is.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. And so I threw out there, I was like, yeah, the song's pretty sad, makes me tear up. And then you threw out the fact that I like to I like to admit that I cry a lot.
Yeah.
And then so I was thinking about that, and I think I said it on last week's show too, is that that's kind of a go-to for me. I really don't cry. Like things like that don't make me cry. I don't when I try to, describe something that's sad or somber, I like to just throw out, made me cry, man. Saddest thing you'll ever see. But then so after that, I don't know, just reflecting on everything that's gone on this week, past few weeks, past years.
Right.
And also I don't know why my mind went back to that conversation, and I was thinking, it's like, yeah, I really don't cry that much, but I'll admit to one thing. I find myself, I probably cry more in movies. Like a good movie is what will get me. You know, that's what will pull at the heartstrings. And I may cry more than like the average male does in a movie. I'm not saying, you know, still I really don't cry that much, but and I came across an article a couple of years ago, and I have no idea if this is true or not. I feel like, you know, a teenager in high school, she probably just wrote this online, you know, on one of those posts or blog news, you know, articles. And it was like, if you cry in movies, this is what it means. And so I clicked on it, I read it, and I learned two things. One, it said if you're more susceptible to crying in movies, you are intelligently superior. So hats off to me for that.
Absolutely.
And number two is, you know, with this superior intelligence, the reason why I may find myself crying is because I have a skill, or people like that have a skill where they're able to take on the perspective of someone else.
Oh yeah,
maybe easier.
like an empath.
Yeah,
type,
and whether the movie is fictional, non-fictional, you know, you can easily place you know, yourself in their shoes.
Right.
And I mean, that kind of just, you know, that resonated with me because I think I've always, or that's a skill that I've always possessed.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of what's going on right now is we're seeing people not possessing that skill or even attempting to possess that, which I don't even like calling it a skill because, I mean, I feel like that's just something everybody shouldn't, you know, should be innate.
Yeah.
And, so, you know, it's kind of been emotional for me because, you know, I have tried to put, you know, myself on the other side, and it hurts even more to, what hurts me the most, I think, or what baffles me is just the amount of people or seeing the different people who can't seem to do this or don't want to do it.
Yeah.
And I get it, man. Like, you know, if you would have gotten me 4 or 5 years ago, you know, on this, my reaction, you know, probably wouldn't be the same as it is right now. And that's just through education and, you know, take different events in life, you know, that have gone through, you know, different people I've met and I have relationships with. And I don't know, it's just allowed me to take on that perspective better and know that, you know, I mean, it's not right. And, you know, what's going down, and it is a real issue. And I think one of the problems is for a white person, because, you know, I dealt with this too, is that, you know, for me, I had a really hard time with this, especially, like I said, 4 or 5 years ago. You know, when this stuff was going on, I wasn't very responsive to it because I thought, of course, you know, I was sad about it, but at the same time, I was like, well, what do you want me to do about it? You know, because, yeah, I may have my prejudices. You know, I'm not going to say, you know, I'm not guilty of that, but, you know, I was like, I'm a good human being. Like, you know, I treat everybody the same, no matter their color, you know, culture, race, but, I don't know, and then it just makes you think like people are just painting white people as a whole as bad. You know, when like the whole Black Lives Matter thing first started, you know, and people like to change it. No, it's all lives matter. Not Black lives, it's all lives.
Yeah.
And I was wondering, and dude, when that early was on, like you would have saw me be like, nah, man, it's all lives matter. But you just kind of got to get over that, you know, that ego and quit thinking that, you know, we're talking about you. You know what I'm saying? Like the whole thing isn't just like against white people in general. I mean, it's against like the bad white people, like, you know, the racists and especially the ones who are in power too, who have abused their power on, not, I mean, not just black people, but white people too. But you know, going, I don't know. I mean,
Yeah,
you know what I'm
I know you're
saying? I'm
saying. I
trying
know
to
you're
come
saying. Yeah, I
from.
know you're trying. Yeah,
I think it's what we're in right now. It's a lot of different factors that I believe goes into it. We may not agree on that, but I just think there's a lot of things that has been in the works over a long time and recently, and it's just kind of caused things to pop off like this. But I mean, I just wish people would just stop trying to pick sides, and just push your ego to the side or push like who you are aside and just try to think about like how other people think out there, and because there are hateful people out there.
this is one thing I've always said. It's kind of piggyback off what you're saying. Is like, don't listen. Don't listen to listen. Don't listen to make a counterpoint. Like, actually listen when someone is telling you what they're feeling and why they're feeling it when they're articulating that. A lot of people will listen, but just listen and say, "Oh, well, I go through this." Well, like, what I'm not talking about you. I'm talking about what I'm dealing with right now. Like, listen to listen and actually understand. If people would listen to understand, which is all that has been asked for, is listen. We're trying to we want to not die. Like, we would like to not worry about dying every day, or not like I said the other time, not normalizing a living in fear. We like to just live without having to think, okay, let me make sure I'm wearing this so I don't get shot today. Let me make sure I'm not saying this so I don't get shot, this doesn't happen today. Or I don't look like that, look like this. We just want to live. Like, just listen when we say those things. Like, it's not about whether you agree or not. Because until you understand the perspective, you can't have an opinion on whether you agree or not. You need to listen to the perspective, and then you can understand, and then you form your opinion on that. If a lot of people come from a place who's not willing to listen to anything at all, because one, they're afraid of having the conversation because it makes them have to confront things in themselves, which is why I commend you, because like you said, you when thought is 4 years ago, you might not think the same way you do now, which means you confronted that within yourself, which is never confronting yourself is never comfortable. It's not supposed to be comfortable. That's how growth happens. You don't grow when you're comfortable. You grow when you're uncomfortable. That's when you become that's when you become a stronger person. Is when you make yourself uncomfortable and you learn about yourself and learn things that, oh, maybe I should change this. That's when change happens. That's when growth happens. This is like, I'm tired of trying to validate why my life is important to you. Like, I'm not you,
Yeah.
but that you, not, you know what I'm saying. Like, I'm tired of trying to validate why I should live, why I deserve to be able to just walk outside, why I deserve to have people take a jog or not have someone kneel on their neck for 10 minutes and kill them. Like, and something that would have not been. I would like for these stories to be able to, I like be heard without a video having to be out. Because there's no video out, once again, we're back in a spot where people just like, oh, well, they said this happened. There's no video, so this is what happened. So that's what we're going to go with. This video being out, even though I haven't watched it, I won't watch it. I can't watch these
Yeah,
anymore.
I
The last one I watched was Philando Castile, and I can't watch these anymore. So I haven't watched one since then. Um, it's just, it's tiring. I keep saying that word, but it's legitimately draining to keep trying to have to explain to people who, not even explain, but just like, because I'm over explaining it, but just constantly, I guess, having to make um comments about it or seeing people not understand it. It's frustrating because it's honestly not that hard to understand. It's really not. If you really decide to listen, you'll get it in about 3 seconds. Because I see people pick and choose really well when they understand context and when they don't. So if you choose to understand the context, you'll get it if you really want to listen. So I'm just like I said, I've been fighting this just anger because I don't want to be angry, even though I am angry. I've been fighting releasing it publicly because one thing that my anger won't be exploited at any point. So like, you'll hear me rant, rave, and yell about stuff, but it's never gonna be something like this because you don't get that side of me. Like, I will be quiet and calm when I'm talking about things like this, even if I'm boiling inside. Like, I'm not gonna yell and scream on air for a clip. Like, no, I'm not. I'm not here for that. I'm here to just talk, and that's what I'm gonna do when I can. Um, I don't know. I don't know.
but part of the reason I think it's so I understand completely where you're coming from, and I agree with you too that it's it shouldn't be that difficult,
Yeah.
to do that. And I think part of it, the reason why it is difficult for people is for some reason, some people just have it in their mind or have this narrative that they're attacking me. Like, these people are going
Yeah.
after me when we're not going after you. I mean, it's not a white versus black thing. It's bigger than that.
Mhm.
Um, and man, I hate saying this, but so part of when I said 4 or 5 years ago, I wouldn't have had the same perspective. Part of that I can say thankfully is because, I had 2 semesters in college back to back where I needed an elective class, and I decided to take 2 different sociology classes.
Mm.
And when I say eye-opening, that's eye-opening.
Yeah.
And did I necessarily agree with everything that was said, in these classes? No, but it widened my frame quite a bit, and seeing, just really how the system has been played,
Mm.
and it
Yeah.
has been rigged. And I see a lot of times too, people throwing up the numbers of the charts. I just saw one again today of it's like from 2017 to 2019,
Mhm.
the comparison of people who've been killed by cops.
Yeah.
And yeah, the number for white people is bigger, but taking the full context, how many white people are in America,
Right.
how many black people are in America, and then do the percentages and then tell me which is higher
Yeah.
or lower. And I've seen that too, people posting, y'all need education. Well, so what's so hard about going through this too is because a lot of people are really afraid, I think, to speak their minds completely because we're such in a cancel culture that any one little slight thing you may say wrong, even if you're just maybe it's somebody who really is trying to figure out like what they believe in or what they think,
Mhm.
and it's kind of a thinking out loud type of thing,
Yeah.
because you really can't progress in your views unless you learn other people's views and until you like state your views too and can have like other people's insights on it and have a back and forth. But we've
Right.
gotten to a point today where we can't have back and forths anymore because if you say one little thing, and you may be truly ignorant to something, it's like, oh well, I think this. You say it at the wrong time, wrong place, in front of the wrong people.
Yeah.
They're going to expose you, and they can throw out there, oh, like this person's a racist. He said this, or he thinks this, and provides no context behind it. So I think that's one problem with it. And then when we have people out here, including me, saying I think education is such a big part of it too. Me putting myself in somebody who's not educated,
Mhm.
in their shoes, that's a turn off to me. Oh, you're saying like, like I'm not, I'm less than you
Mm.
because, I didn't go to college or,
Yeah.
I don't have an education like this. And so it's just so many little things that are right, but maybe they're not, the message isn't being conveyed right, or it's just people where they just put too much of their own feelings into it and
Right.
they're taking their own personal offenses when
Right.
it's just, look, the bottom line is that, whether you're aware of it or not, the system, like you can go all the way back, to the 60s, maybe earlier than that. I can't really remember. But, you know, project housing, I mean, all this,
Mhm.
it's just, there's a lot into it and there's a lot to be learned. And I haven't learned the half of it. I'm just aware that it's there,
Yeah.
and I think a lot of people need to realize that. But I mean, how? I mean, and that's just with us, but people are gonna have to be willing to listen to.
Yeah. And I think that's another thing that comes to humility. Like, I'm not if I don't know something, I'm not afraid to say, "Oh, I don't know," and then, but I won't thinking out loud in public is not smart anyway. You should never think out loud in a public space. Like, think out loud and talk to. I mean, talk to your black friend. You all have one.
Yeah.
Whatever
Well,
it
I mean,
says.
I'm
You know what I'm
thinking,
saying? Like,
yeah,
just talk to people close to you about it that you think. This way, you got to be like. This is not advice. Just be humble and be like, okay, maybe I don't know about this. Let me ask this person because I have people ask me questions. You've done that before about things. Joey Garrison's asked me things, and we've discussed them. I've asked you things for perspectives. Like that's you just have to ask people close to you, and then get the perspective, and then understand it, and then form your opinion that way. Like it's just thinking out. Like I'm good with thinking out loud. But don't you think out loud in public, and you say something off the cuff, and then you end up in the media storm, like in the cancel culture storm. That's your own. Like your words have power. Once you put them out there, you can't take them back. Which is the another thing that's hard about doing this because I have to make sure that I'm saying things that that I fully like have thought out. Which is why it's easier for me to write rather than speak. But I've it's a podcast. It's a show podcast. So my job is speaking. I enjoy this more than I enjoy writing. So that's why I do it. But yeah, it's just like you gotta your words have power and you have to understand the power in your words and just the way they can be taken for one. Because I know for me, when I see certain things, it's just like, okay, this person really doesn't care about me. They don't know they don't care about me, but you're very well showing that you really don't care about my life at all. So there's no point in me discussing things with you because you've already shown who you are, which leads back to the anger and the hate thing that I was talking about earlier. Like I'm really trying to stay out of that. It's just very, very difficult.
Yeah.
I'm trying really hard. It's just like another hit every week. And this isn't gonna be the last one. That's the thing. Like this is gonna happen again. George Floyd is not gonna be the last one. Breonna Taylor is not gonna be the last one. Ahmaud Arbery is not gonna be the last one. It's probably another one in the works right now that's gonna come out soon. I'm like it's an endless cycle that enough people more people now, I think maybe, but enough people aren't ready to break the cycle yet. So they're still caught up in ingrained in their beliefs that a lot of cases, like you probably agree with me on this, a lot of cases they've had since childhood and never branched out of those. Like they never reached out on their own to learn something. They got taught it once and they just said, okay, this is the way and this is the only way. So I don't need to know anything else. So they've never attempted to learn anything. They just took what they heard as a kid and just ran with that instead of taking some time to really like actually learn something and think for a second.
And that kind of goes with what you're taught at home. You're only as smart as as your parents when it comes to that too. And it's kind of a generational thing. So but yeah, it's tough. Like there's a lot of different things that has made me mad. I think one thing we gotta take into consideration too is that being on social media, yeah, you're not a social media person. Yeah. Me, so I made myself a promise about 2 months ago. I can't remember if I told you. Titus knows I like to vent to Titus, but I've gotten in at least 3 or 4 Facebook conversations, arguments or something. Yeah. Maybe within the last year, and it's me being on there. So I took Facebook way wrong, as in I'm somebody I want to hear your opinion. This is why I enjoy doing this. Right. I mean, everybody knows I like to talk, but I don't only just like to talk. I like to talk. Part of the reason why I like to talk is I talk out loud. I am one of those who thinks out loud. Right. But I like to hear other people's perspective, and that's what's helped me. I would say make this growth and changing my perspectives on a lot of things is just I have asked very uncomfortable questions, to my friends who, maybe I just kind of blindside them, Yeah. And maybe they're not the type of person that really wants to have that type of conversation, or which I respect. So I've kind of pushed the envelope a little bit. So I've done it on Facebook too, Yeah. All through 4 of those people, I ended up getting blocked by, and I really didn't think I was rude, but it just got to where we had differing opinions and the person just, didn't like me pushing. So I've learned like the people who are on social media like that and who do like to air it out, those usually aren't the people you can reason with. Right. And you get trapped in it because like, dude, the past 3 days I've gotten on social media, it's driven me crazy. I'm like, man, I really want to see a meme right now. I never thought in my life I would have been begging for memes out here. Right. But I just wanted a meme of something. Right. And it's just gotten to where, I mean, just some of the people on my social media, man, just knowing them in person, just kind of bitter people,
Mhm.
and it just shows on their pages too and their posts.
Right.
And I just wish like I'm having to learn this and do it, but just like people out there, put it down and don't think you got to be picking these fights, or don't think you're because I really was coming from a good place when I
Yeah.
was challenging these people. Like,
Right.
I mean, I'm just trying to push their point of view and push mine as well,
Yeah.
because I want to hear what they have to say and
Right,
why they
right.
think that's right.
Right.
And I wish people would do that, but I wish they do it in the right way and not just turn out, blocking us or, blocking the others.
Mhm.
But yeah, it's just been really frustrating. And so with all that said, I would like to make a point too, like just as much negative I've seen on this, I've seen thankfully a lot of positive on it too. Where in
Right.
these other cities, maybe smaller towns where there's not a lot of attention, there have been protests, uh, but I mean, it's just been beautiful,
Mhm.
like where it's both sides coming together, cops and
Right.
citizens praying with one another, and like that's really the unity we need. But like I said earlier, dude, we want to be like the ulterior outlet for people, to get a different opinion from, and instead of the dividing narrative that seems to go on a lot now in the mainstream.
Yeah. And the thing about social media is like specifically Facebook, because Facebook is legitimately people you know. So when you see them saying things, it hits a little differently
Yeah.
than like Twitter. I can just ignore it. I don't know you. You're just a egghead or whatever with a bird or whatever the Twitter thing is. It's the egg, right? Just an egg avatar. You don't matter.
So
Yeah, you don't matter. With Facebook, it's like I grew up with you. Like I went to school with you. We talked a lot. Why are you like this? Like why don't you want to listen to me now? Um, and that's what makes it hit differently. And it's like I was talking to me and Josh talking about this earlier on the phone on the way here. He was like, I want to put social media down. It's like I also need to stay up to date on what's going on at the same time. And that's the challenging part of it. It's like I don't want to see this, but I also want to be on top of what's happening, make sure like everything's good. Honestly, bro, if we didn't have Not the Experts, I would have deleted Facebook like 2 years ago. But I kept it for the show. Um, honestly, like, I mainly kept it for the show, and that's why I've never been like heavy on it because it's mainly for the show. I post, I share a joke or whatever, make a status every now and then, but like it's never been something. It was something that I've been wanting to get rid of for a minute. I just don't because I mean, I need it for the show basically, so I keep it. But it's like now it's just like I'm up there a lot more than I'd like to be just looking, and I don't even argue with people anymore. It's just I just see it and I just because I don't I'm not in the spirit of having conversation because I'm like mentally I'm not in a conversational place. I'm in a like say things that are gonna get me banned from Facebook type space in my head. So it's like I know I can't engage right now because I know how this is gonna go. Um, Twitter's a little easier, like I said. Not really. Well, I mean, I'm up there a lot,
I'm
but
kind of
just
the
like,
opposite with you. Twitter is
yeah,
Twitter's
yeah,
been more destructive for me.
yeah. Twitter's
Getting
not
on that
great.
the past few
Yeah,
days.
Twitter hasn't been great either lately. But it's like I can like filter my Twitter feed out in a way that I just see what I like. With their Twitter algorithms, I can just kind of see different things.
Yeah.
Every now and then, I can look at something else, but it's just yeah, social media is it's great, but it's also painful, and I probably do need to detox from it for a few days. Um, I need to detox from everything for a few days, actually, probably to be honest. But yeah, I'm just
We have a question if you
what's up?
um, want to know what our thoughts are on the way the media's been covering it. If we have any thoughts on that.
To be quite honest, I don't really watch news coverage. So like because I know how that like news coverage is weird in general. So I don't really watch too much news coverage. I just kind of see the clips on the internet and then I'll go if I see something on the internet, internet captions always have like one random fact in a video. And it might even be like what happened in the video or not. So I like see that and then I'll go reference it to a few websites and see what happened. So I haven't paying too much attention to the media coverage of it. So I can't really speak to that, to be honest.
In my opinion,
I'll say that maybe they're doing the best they can because this is not an easy situation.
yeah. I really don't have any disdain for how the media is covering
Yeah.
this. At the same time, though, don't give me your monologue on what's wrong with all of us and your one fixer up solution because you're part of the problem. I mean, the same person who's just calling out a certain group of people, or every night, it's pick on somebody type of thing, and then yet you want to come out here and you want to preach your piece, it's stuff like that, and that's across all media outlets. That's not just a bias.
Yeah,
and I'm tired of that too. And I think we're all very aware, whether we want to admit it or not, and if we're aware of it all the time. But well, I mean, the news job is to get viewers, and so if nothing's going on, or if we're going to keep it bland,
right?
Nobody's going to tune into that. We got to spice it up any way we can. So I think a lot of times, they add a little bit of a problem to it. My only other little thing against the media is, and I guess I can get into this a little bit later. I don't like how, I don't think it's being taught enough. I saw the article today that all of the people who were arrested in the riots in Minnesota or in Minneapolis, not one single one of them were from Minneapolis.
Yeah.
And a lot of these videos I've seen are,
it's a lot of weird stuff.
They're white people.
It's a lot of weird stuff. Yeah.
It's a lot of weird stuff, and it's a lot of people coming in, and I'm not here to push conspiracies or whatever.
Some of the videos are weird because it's just like you see random people show up, break some stuff, and then disappear.
Yeah, exactly.
And
well,
everything
and they have
off.
they have no regard. I've seen so many videos of these people where it's just so obvious that they're not there for a protest or make a point.
Oh, yeah.
They're there to break stuff.
Yeah. I think 3 different mayors have said this.
Yes.
Minneapolis said this. The Atlanta chief said the same thing. And I think one other city said the same thing. I don't remember which one. Richmond said,
And I just told you, one of my good friends, he was also one of my fraternity brothers. He lives downtown Atlanta, and I got Snapchat videos from him the other night. He was there on the front lines, quite literally. I mean, he got some pretty good videos of them.
Yeah.
And he was right there when they at the beginning of it till the end, and he was a victim of getting tear gas, but he was really more there as a spectator because he had broken off. Because it kind of was, if you saw, there was like the main group, and then there was the people vandalizing.
Yeah, and that's the other weird thing about it. It's like it's not a large group of people vandalizing.
No, it's not, but it's this
group.
main group.
Yeah.
And he told me, quite frankly, who's like, those people
they're not from here.
They're not from Atlanta, and he's like, those people had nothing to do with the protest.
Yeah,
man. They were there to just get whatever they can, and so besides people not being able to take in perspective, I would say that's my number one, like right there with you. That's what's angered me, is that people not just refusing to acknowledge like what's been going on and how this is a trend and it is a true problem. The second thing that is just absolutely like just made me mad, and I think it's made me a little bit more mad than that, is that when Black people are out here really trying to like raise awareness and show us something, there's something going on where they're taking away that attention, and the narrative gets completely changed, and the focus is completely taken off George Floyd and that whole situation and all these other people. It's completely taken away that, and we're just, because nobody can argue if that's bad or not. There's no divisive debate about it. I mean, even that day, I didn't hear one person, and we may be different. We got different social media people. I really did not hear much of anything from anybody saying anything negative when it comes to that, or fighting back on it. A lot of people were acknowledging it or just not saying anything at all. But where there is a two-sided argument, if riots are good or not. So that's where the two-sided argument has come in, and people have liked to put in their piece, and that's maybe me at too. The people staying silent, but they want to come up here and say, they want to point out, point the fingers of, oh, you shouldn't be protesting, this is horrible. Well, nah, duh. And if we did an expert of the week, Titus, I wanted to congratulate our fans right now. I'm giving them expert of the week. To everybody who can acknowledge that stealing and looting stuff is a bad thing, congratulations. You're a human being with some morals, because I think we can all agree that's kind of bad. But if you don't want to sit there and really acknowledge like the true problem that's going on,
Right.
like that's where
And I
you get
think
my not the expert of the week.
and I think that's what I've highlighted that a few times is that a lot of people are more loud about property than they are about the deaths, and that's the real issue. Like
But you know what I'm
things,
saying? Like
yeah,
that's where
no,
the
for sure,
argument comes
yeah,
from.
like
Is
like if you're willingly choosing to focus on the things that are being damaged by people who, I mean, like you said, are very clearly not a part of the actual protest,
but
then but are there just to make you lose focus. First of all, be a little smarter. Don't be so gullible. Secondly, like focus on the big picture of this. And the big picture is people are dying for no reason. For no reason. And there's very little accountability most of the time when it happens. That's the actual problem. That's the root of the problem. If you want to stop the rest of it, let's focus on stopping that part. Let's change that part, and then the rest of it won't happen. Because, like I said, people are angry. Like in general, people are angry. But a lot of people are willing to just be angry and not necessarily right. They just want their feelings hurt. But at a certain point, people are gonna get tired of that. Like they're gonna get pushed to the edge, and um,
well,
just
and
as many. Go ahead.
well, I would just want to say, let's throw in the fact too that my buddy who lives in
Mhm.
downtown, and I asked him, I said, why were you even there? You know, because he's very, I mean, he's just not a person I'd expect to
Yeah.
like go to a protest,
Right.
you know?
Right.
And he said, dude, I've been in quarantine for 3 months. I really just want an excuse to get outside and put that into like
Yeah.
a lot of these people in these major cities where a lot of the action is going down is that these people have been on extreme lockdown measures and they really have not been able to go outside unless to get essential things. And that does something to you mentally as well. And I think,
Yeah.
I think that's just the icing on the cake type of thing,
Mhm.
and I'm not saying they got plenty of reasons to be mad, and that's just another icing on the cake to where it's just made this completely, different than
Yeah.
other times.
Yeah. Yeah. That's about it. I think.
Sorry, I didn't
You
mean
good.
to.
You good. I was trying to think of. I think the last thing I wanted to say is we've highlighted a few times. This is May is Mental Health Awareness Month, and I know for a lot of people, um, this has been a very trying month in general. So I want all of you, like all my people, make sure you're taking care of your health, your mental health as well, because this is a very trying time. Like I know how trying it is. So please make sure you're taking care of your mental health during this, because I know it's hard, and this is like very taxing on that. Speaking from experience, like so, my people, like y'all just reach out, talk to who you need to talk to, um, speak to talk to people close to you. Just have conversations about anything, light, heavy, whatever. Just make sure you're talking to people. Don't try and isolate yourself anymore because this is not. It's not going to be good for you mentally, and I know that. And with this being Mental Health Awareness Month, and this being some of those trying mental health, um, trying traumatizing times, just make sure you take care of you as well, as because when this happens, we don't think about just me. We think about our cousins, our friends, our um fathers, mothers. That's what we think, and that's what they think about as well as their children, their nieces, nephews. So just do the best you can to take care of you, because if you take care of you, you can't really branch out the way you want if your mental health is bad. Um, and secondly, if you're, I know a lot of people don't like big crowds and stuff like that because frontline protesting ain't for everybody. So like, but don't feel like you have to be out there in a protest if that's not what you mentally can handle. Don't do it. There are other ways that you can contribute to that you can have your voice heard, that you can contribute to this um to the fight going on. There are other ways for you to do that to the cause. You don't have to be on the front lines protesting. You can find things to donate to. You can find maybe there's local organizations going on. I know some that are going to be starting back here soon, and I'll have more information on that when they get going, if they get going. Um, but don't feel like you have to go out there and damage your mental health for that because you don't. You honestly don't. you can still be just as involved in this without putting your health at risk on the front lines. Because if you can't mentally handle that, then don't bring yourself to a place where you might have a breakdown or something might get to you. Don't do it because you don't have to. There's other avenues. Reach out to people you know. Reach out to look online, check things. You can donate to. There's a Freedom Fund in Minneapolis you can donate to. I know specifically in that city there's one that I've seen floating around. I've contributed to. There are things everywhere. Just look out. Be on the lookout for them. Look around. You'll find it, and you'll find a way to help if you want. You don't have to. You can help in any way. Just take care of yourself when you do it, please. I just want to highlight that. And to my family, friends, everybody, I love y'all. We'll be safe. I think that's it. That's all I got. Yeah.
Well, can I say something?
Go ahead. Yeah. Go ahead.
My message is, before you speak or act, this for us white people mainly, just try to take on the skill of take on the other person's perspective before you judge or before you act, and think about just taking to context everything. And I'm the last person to tell anybody how to be a good person or a good Christian, rather. But I just wanted to highlight that I've seen the memes posted, and as a Christian and too, as someone who's more on the conservative side of politics, one of our main arguments or grounds we like to stamp our flag in is being pro-life. And
Yeah.
I mean, we're gonna come out here and we're gonna march, to save, unborn children, but we can't even, move or speak up for people who were already born. And, if you're pro-life, you're pro everyone's life.
Yeah.
And so I just want to say that. And, if anybody needs any biblical perspective on it, I was just kind of thinking, I don't know why, but like the story of Lazarus, and the shortest verse in the Bible, the verse we all know, Jesus wept. I don't know why that's a thing, but we just like to be like, oh yeah, Jesus wept.
Yeah.
And then we kind of forget about the context of it too in the story. And what happens is that, Lazarus has just died, and his sister and, people who knew and loved Lazarus, they ran up to Jesus, and his sister just tells Jesus, you should have been here minutes ago, or you could have saved my brother from dying. And Jesus looked at Mary and is it Mary? Am I right on that? Mary? No, I may be wrong, but I feel like they were all named Mary back then. But Mary,
If my dad's still watching, he'll comment and tell us.
Yeah. So he saw that they were crying, and like I don't know, it's beautiful, but Jesus already knew, he already knew what he was about to do, and he already knows the powers he possesses, and he knows. I mean, he could have just snapped his fingers right there, and Lazarus would have just gotten up and walked out of the house to see them, but he saw that they were troubled, and he became troubled as well, because what makes it so crazy is that he's just not a here, there, fix that type of dude. He'll actually, sit in it with you, and he takes on the perspective as well, and he feels the same emotions that you feel as well. And it's just a basic, principle, basic life skill I think we should just all possess. And I think that's the number one. If I had to put say this would be problem number one with our society today, is not taking on the perspective of others, and not being willing to actually listen. Not hear, but just listen.
For sure.
But that's the main message I just wanted to throw out.
I'm glad I like you said that too, because we got more on that coming later. We'll talk about that off here. But yeah, that would be. I'm glad you said that, and I wasn't gonna let that wrap it up, but I remember I have to say one last thing. I want to say thank you to you, Josh Sperry, Joey Garrison, Micah, all y'all different league points, hit me up and just asked how I was doing during the week. And I just really appreciate that. I want y'all to know that. I appreciate it. And I love y'all for that. So that's it.
Too, man.
So we're out. Thank you, Brother Most Media Production Studios. We can get y'all out here a little earlier this Sunday than usual. So thank y'all. Thank y'all for watching. We will be back next week. Hopefully we'll have a normal show. If y'all want to act right this week. We'll have a normal show.
See what 2020 throws our way.
Yeah, we'll see what happens. It's been a year. Thank y'all. Been on the lookout. We out.
Peace.